Hello guys, in this video I will talk with you about what gear you should focus on, where you can farm gear, what sets to prioritize, and especially how to roll on gear efficiently. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. If you are in the early game or a new player, most of your gear will probably come from adventure. That means that you can't farm really good gear and you rely on quests and random rewards to get your gear going, right? In this case, don't think too much about farming gear and just focus on leveling up your character and giving them the bare minimum of trash gear that you can find. If you are in the early mid-game, like a bit further ahead, I suggest saving survey hub points to buy the 6-star gear here. The 6-star gear is especially good if you are not ready yet to farm stage 10 Chimera, but still want 6-star gear to use, right? Because the gear here is not that bad actually. Even without using reforged material on it, it's already really good gear for early mid game. It's not good in the late game, but yeah, good gear is really rare. The same goes for the legendary weapon and accessory. Very hard to get them with viable stats, so those are already really good. Keep that in mind. If you are in the early mid game, the gear from the adventure are actually decent, and you can unlock this shop by beating season 2 normal mode, I think, but I'm not sure anymore. Yeah, but until then, save the survey hubs until you have unlocked this shop, and then you will get a good boost of 6-star red gear. If you are in the late game of Outerplane, you will probably farm your gear in Special Request Ecology Study or Special Request Identification. Ecology Study is mostly for armor, as you can farm the sets there like speed. Identification is where you can farm weapon and accessories, and they are also bound to classes if they are ready. So with that in mind, I think the most important stages you want to farm are Chimera and Glycis 10. Glycis 10, yes. Oh, Glycis 12 is already out, I forgot. And that is because in both stages you can farm speed gear, which is universally useful on most units and absolutely needed on units who need to get the first turn. Keep that in mind. When you farm Chimera for the speed set, you are bound to happen to get accuracy sets, counterattack sets, and even the critical strike set. At first glance, only counterattack set seems to be useful because the other two accuracy set and critical strike set don't have crazy set stats numbers. But in the end, if the subsets are really good, you should definitely roll on them because the pieces are like 80% substats and 20% main stat set, right? So really focus on the subset. If it's good, don't worry too much, keep rolling. And with other sets, I think Tyrant has really good sets. Masterless Guardian is a bit mixed for me in the feelings. I think people farm it only for waiting. You have other stuff here, but attack set it has good sets, right? But the main reason why you want to farm it, if you don't farm speed, is probably evasion set for the people. I'm not interested in that. Many people are also farming the Grand Calamari for the immunity set, right? And Sacred Guardian has nothing really of interest, maybe penetration set, but those are kinda, if I would have to farm anything else besides Chimera, it would be either Tyrant for the very strong flat sets, they're like 50% HP, like wow, right? Or Chimera, Calamari for the immunity set. One important thing to know is that accessories in Special Request Identification will have different main stats depending on which boss you are fighting. This includes blue accessories and red accessories. For example, in Glycis, I can have resilience, crit chance, speed, or defense percentage. While in Meteors, if I want to farm it, it will be because I need penetration, health percentage, crit damage, or effectiveness. This is kinda complicated, right? Because sometimes you want certain abilities, for example, Resurrection Token here. This Resurrection Token can, on the max vector, with a 100% chance, resurrect your unit. But what if I want flat heal percentage? That's not possible. I can't have the combination of a Resurrection Token with flat heal percentage. So keep that in mind. And some units will want to have speed anyway, like for example the hunter weapons and accessories. You might want to have them on speed anyway, so you are really limited with the choices you have. That's why I think identification is so important, because it's the only one way you can get speed accessories, right? Also keep in mind, if we are talking about a uniqueness, every accessory and weapon you can farm for a certain class in each of the 3 dungeons has special abilities that can only be farmed in this dungeon, right? For example, Meteor's Violent Sledgehammer can deal damage proportional to the caster's missing health. So you want to really think about what your main units need, but don't overthink it too much, because it's really not that easy to get the items in the first place. Okay, another resource of gear will be Kate's workshop, of course. You can either craft armor or weapons and accessories. Let's talk about why I will avoid crafting armor. I crafted in the early game of the game, in the first 2 months, a lot of gear from Chimera, right? And I honestly have to say, it never felt worth it. Like, I got maybe, after 50 million gold, I got 4 pieces which are useful. I would highly avoid crafting armor, because if you get a good red piece, it's good, but most of the time it will be useless. And what do you do with useless red armor? Nothing, right? You disassemble it or sell it. So definitely avoid armor if you need gold, because like I said, you need them to convert your gems into 6-star gems. And yeah, let's talk about what you can do. You can guarantee legendary crafting. I will always do it. Except for armor, I can understand if you go for the epic abrasives, but legendary allows you to choose the speed set too, right? So the Potentium armor, if you want speed set, definitely go like this, and this might be worth it, but it's a high gold dump. I would far more suggest, and this one is what I still do in crafting weeks. I still craft weapon and accessories. As you can see, all are low on, because I will always craft them. And why is that? If I get a useless red piece, I can still use it, right? Let's say I get a really trash red armor, red accessory, which I can't use. What can I do with it? Now we go to the backpack of my game, in which the gear is. And you can see I have some breakthrough for pieces, right? And they came all from useless pieces I had before. Like, let's take a look. For example, this one, a bit unlucky with the substats, so I will not put this one up. But let's talk about this one. Resurrection has 2 health, but it's too low. Yeah, this one looks fine. Resilience, evasion, health. This one looks really good. Now, what can I do with the useless pieces, like this one, right? I could use it for breakthrough. I have it currently locked. But this means if I craft a useless red accessory, I can still convert it into a breakthrough count, right? So really, nothing feels worse than crafting regular armor. If you have to craft something, always go for weapon and accessory, simply because you need 4 pieces anyways, which are unusable. Okay, now let's talk about the main difference between 6-star blue gear and 6-star red gear. Let's take a first look at this piece. This is a full breakthrough, full reforged piece with 42 speed, right? Now look at the red piece, counterpart of it. This one has 84 speed, right? So it has on the maximum 6 speed more, which is quite a lot. And also, red pieces start with 1 more wall, right? They have all substats unlocked. You can already see from the get-go what you will roll. While on blue gear, you don't know that, because the 4th stat is not visible. For example, I could go over this one now, Quick Chainsaw. This one looks decent, right? It has 333 Dream. And if it gets now heal, speed, then it would be usable. Otherwise, I don't know. Okay, effectiveness. For example, here I didn't know what I will get, right? So I will pay gold, I pay material to see the 4th subset, which is a disadvantage. And also, like I said, all blue gear has worse main stats. Keep that in mind. But in the end, you will have far more blue gear. And because you get far more blue gear, you really want to focus on blue gear at the start. And don't think too much about red gear, because you will rarely get good red gear. And with that, there's also another important reason. You want to have as many good blue accessories and blue weapons at the start as you can, because they can be switched up between characters, right? Between classes. While, for example, this accessory can only be used by hunters, because it's locked to the class. Unlike the blue piece here, which I can put on any unit I want. So I was thinking a lot how to show you guys what kind of gear you should roll on, but rather than that, I will show you what type of units want what type of combination of substats and main stats. We start with the easiest one. It's the health scaling DPS. They really love health percentage or flat on the gear. They really love speed, because you will cycle through more turns, and they are kinda slow, so flat speed on substats is kinda really strong. Then crit rate, because crit rate is the best way for them to scale with damage. And as pillars, things depends on the gear, right? Like if you go evasion, you need a lot of evasion. If you don't have a lot of crit rate, crit damage is useless. If the meta is not about evasion, accuracy feels useless too. So keep that in mind, yeah? Pillars are evasion, crit damage, defense, flat, attack, and accuracy. The next one are speed DPS. In this case, we have only one filler, but speed, crit rate, crit damage, attack, and accuracy as stats which you want, especially on them. So all they are supposed to do is dealing damage, while Notia, I put her here because she is a bit special, that's why I say filler effectiveness. If your piece happens to have effectiveness, Notia and Bat will like this piece. Like if you miss on speed, for example, then effectiveness will still be fine for Bait and Notia, for example, yeah. Speed is the best piece of a subset, of course, but whatever. Next one, speed buff and healer. In this case, I show you Mene, Leo, and Cindy. They are really one-dimensional. All you want to do is to cycle as much as you can to the abilities. In this case, you want speed, resilience, health flat, and health percentage. You need a lot of resilience to make it work. If you don't have a lot of resilience, go for flat defense. Even defense percentage is good. If you want to go evasion on Leo or Mene, for example, it's fine too. But because they are so one-dimensional, all you want to do is to cycle to your buffs or heals. You really want only speed, resilience, and health flat, health percentage, yeah? Then the next one, speed debuffer, Tamara, Eternal, and Valentine. Yeah, the most important part of them is to hit the debuffs. Valentine is an interesting thing because she is a buffer and a debuffer, but that's Tamara too. So I still think they have the role of the debuffers. And they all want speed, they all want effectiveness, they all want accuracy. And then because it's what you want and you can't always get it, crit rate, crit damage is fine if you get it as a combination. Like, let's say you get speed, crit rate, crit damage, and effectiveness, right? Then it would still be a super really good piece for Tamara, for example, even without accuracy. Accuracy is really good, but yeah, sometimes you can get it to other gear pieces, right? It's not the end of the world. Yeah, and in the end, they are very versatile in offensive stats. It's just that you need a lot of effectiveness to get safely the debuffs going. Then with the filler substats, we have health percentage, health flat, which I think is and maybe resilience. Like the fillers are really bad fillers, right? Like you could say they are not fillers. Yeah, you could say it like that. They're actually not fillers. I don't know why I wrote it there, but yeah, it's not a really good substitute. Then we have a bit of a niche, debuffer, defense side scaling, debuffer. So we have debuffers who are scaling on defense or health, right? And in this case, they can be both bulky and don't need speed, but it still helps to have speed on them, of course. What they want are either effectiveness, like if you want to build Veronica for PvE, for example, for a town, you need effectiveness. Honeybull is really nice with effectiveness to get if you burst, but I'm not sure. I think on the highest level burst ignores resilience, I'm not sure anymore. But in any case, effectiveness and accuracy, of course, nice on them, and then health or death depending on what kind of units they are. So Honeyball, for example, wants definitely defense because it scales with the damage. And speed is always nice. As you can see, everyone wants speed except the last DPS PvE limited turns. And as filler, you can use crit rate, crit damage. If you happen to get a piece with crit rate, crit damage, health, and for example, accuracy, also effectiveness, then this is still a usable piece, yeah? Like any combination of this will work out. But keep in mind here again, crit rate is useless, crit damage is useless if you have no crit rate. Then for DPS PvE limited turn units, it's very limited. It basically is only for starts. You want crit rate, crit damage, attack flat, and attack percentage. And as fifth, accuracy, maybe even health. Accuracy is not even needed because you hit your abilities usually anyway. But the content might change and accuracy could be nice. And this piece is already usable in PvP for certain units. So if you have PvE content in which you have limited turns, this is basically the best you can have. Crit rate, crit damage, attack, and flat and attack percentage. So that's it for today. I really want to thank you for watching my video till the end. Not many people are doing this. And I hope this really helps you understanding the importance of gear, what substats and main stats combination you want, and what to prioritize. Keep in mind that crafting gear is always risky because gold is very low in this game. You don't have a lot of income of it, and you need to convert your gems at some point, yeah? And definitely gear, you will get more picky as more gear as you get. As better as your gear get, you will get more and more picky, making it easier for you to save money, to save coins, because you will craft less and less gear. And with that, I want to thank you guys for watching the video. If you like the video, leave a like, and every subscription helps. I'm active again and I'm happy to serve you guys with videos. See you, goodbye.